Hey cats and kits, Captain Zorik here. So, what is it about me and this office building back here? There it is. And rain. Second time I'm shooting a little video here, second time it rains. So let me tell you what happened today in the court. While I try to find a place where there's a little shelter. This was, again, what they call a conference, not a trial. The illegal lockout judge, who happens to be a new judge because, there's some dry sidewalk right here in front of a store for rent. I shouldn't bother anybody. All right, the illegal lockout judge, no one's here. So, the illegal lockout judge is a new judge because the original, they cycle around judges. And interestingly enough, the original illegal lockout judge is going to be the new HP case judge. He had been, the illegal lockout case had been adjourned to coincide, had been adjourned to coincide with the HP case, but he'd been looking through, and illegal lockouts are technically emergency cases. So, but I'm using it as a, how do you get in there? Oh, because that's not the store. My consideration is that I am illegally locked out because the campaign of terror by Antonio Cook makes me not want to have Antonio Cook present when my door is open, like when I would be removing my stuff, for instance. Heck, I don't want Antonio to have my keys because he's already proved that he has no respect for me or my law or agreements or the law or my property or anything else. He showed that by trashing my stuff and by continually having his associates go into my room for various reasons without ever telling me. So the illegal lockout judge, Judge Wang, said, "Hey, here's this case, let's get her done." And so when he said, let's have a conference and then we'll talk about having a trial, the respondents' attorneys, that would be Ron Hariri of Hariri and Crispo, and Charlie Balvin, attorney and counsel, submitted at the 11th hour a motion to dismiss because, hey, he shouldn't be in that room anyway because there's a vacate order. And by the way, they shouldn't have been in that apartment anyway because it's illegal because this building was certificate of occupancy for apartments and not 10 SROs. It's not an SRO, blah, 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 blah. So we said that's all bullshit. And the rest of it is bullshit too. And so that led to a conference, and that led to a date to another conference, and that was today. Well, they came up. Oh, by the way, hello everybody. Daniel, Stephen, Mark, thanks for watching. So when we opened, the first thing that happened was that Ron Hariri or Charlie Balvin, I couldn't tell them apart because they were on Skype and me and my lawyer were there in person, said, hey, what do you say we just waive all the oral argument and we just have the judge base it on the documentation that we sent? And my lawyer was like, nah, it ain't gonna work that way. We want to talk about this shit. So we talked about it, and they got what they had to say, and what they had to say is, this isn't the, and first off, this isn't the right court for it. This is for when people are illegally locked out of their apartment, and too many people. This is for when people are illegally locked out of their apartment, and he's not supposed to be in there. There's a vacate order. And we're like, yeah, the vacate order is because of a dangerous emergency condition that the landlord caused. All right? And so therefore, that's why he's being locked out. So therefore, it's the landlord's fault. So therefore, the landlord's supposed to do something about it. And the landlord, or the building manager, the managing agent who's acting for the landlord, is not doing anything about it. And that's what's against the law, and that's why this should be here. And they went round and round in various circles around this. They tried to make an offer of, the respondents said, We'll fix it up until back to 4 apartments, and if they want, we can discuss the possibility of then moving in. Judge Smith in the HP case said, that's not the way it works. It doesn't matter how many apartments it is, you fix it up so that they can move back in. That's the priority. And again, lawyers, round and round. The judge seemed to be taking a very narrow interpretation, or seeking a very narrow interpretation of what an illegal lockout case is, and and how all these other things about the harassment and about fixing it up and whether or not it should have a fire escape, that's all HP course stuff. Why should an illegal lockout case have this? And finally, he was all ready to wrap it up, and I just said, Your Honor, can I say something? And he said, yeah. And first off, I apologize for my ridiculous appearance. See, I had brought a shirt, a tie, and a vest, and I put that on, but I'd thought that we were going to be on Skype. And the judge actually asked him, my lawyer, I should say, if we wanted to be there in person. And my lawyer, Joe Crapel, thought that would be a good idea. So we showed up in person, and so I wore shirt and tie and shorts and sneakers without socks. So after apologizing for that, I launched into it. And when I walked out, I thought of a million things I could have said. But basically, they had actually offered. Oh yeah, here's just a little bit I forgot. There was some back and forth on the emails, and in one of the emails from my lawyer, it said, because I am insisting on I should get keys, because I don't trust my stuff around Antonio Cook or anyone else in building management, so I should have my own keys so I can remove it on my own. Well, my lawyer said he knows it's under a vacate order, and he's not asking for possession of his premises now. He was asking for it back in December when it should have been fixed, and I should have been let back in, because if they'd taken care of this right away, we wouldn't be having this trouble. All right. Well, and Hariri wrote back, well, since he is accepting that he is not supposed to have possession of the premises, we can arrange some sort of supervised removal of his property. It's like, you're not getting it. And my lawyer said, not quite. And laid a little legal smackdown on him on email, and we all met in court. And they repeated this, we can arrange and that was their offer. We can arrange some sort of supervised removal of your stuff, but here's the thing. Once my stuff is out, they're going to fix it up. They're going to rent it to someone else. And the judge said, okay, we're again revisiting stuff that happened before I had my piece to say. The judge said, well then, if they bring someone else in, then you can bring him in, whoever they bring in, as a party to the HP case. All right. And the HP case is where you can go for all this. And it's like, okay. When that happens, all right, if this illegal lockout case is dismissed, then yes, he's proven by behavior that he will clean it out, fix it up, and maybe or maybe not file the papers, but will bring someone in. And then we'll have to go back and it'll get even more complicated and ugly. And now, when it comes down to it, they did ask, do you want a settlement? And I'm like, sure. I'll even name a number. All right? $200,000. That's your offer? That's my offer. $200,000. Do you have a counter offer? And it's, I'll have to talk to my client. But there's I pointed out that there's another person still living there who was not vacated, which proves the entire building is not dangerous, which is something that they've been trying to say. The entire building has to be emptied and fixed up, etc., etc. No. Those people have access to a fire escape, and one of those people is so traumatized by building manager Antonio Cook that she is, triggered. She is owning that word triggered, okay? Now, there's going to be an inspection in the building based on complaints that have been made about paint, about mold, about the removal of shelves, and all that good stuff. They're finally getting around to inspecting with a list of complaints as long as my forearm. And hey, from my elbow to my fingertips, it's as long as somebody's arm, at least one person's arm I know. And it's so bad that I'm going to be there to make sure she doesn't lose it if Antonio Cook shows up. That's how bad it is, Your Honor. Okay, so it's not just about me, all right? It's a whole thing, and they're just throwing spaghetti against the wall. In fact, I wish I'd thought of that they're throwing all the spaghetti at the wall and the linguine, and I think I see some spots of rigatoni against the wall too. And here's another thing I wish I said. If you give them a millimeter, they'll take 1.5 miles. And this is a millimeter that they want. Dismissing this case is 1 millimeter. But they're going to take that 1.5 miles. So, so here's what I want. Either postpone the case, adjourn the case to coincide with the HP trial. Status quo. Like you did, and I should have mentioned this too, like we did when I brought forth the video of Antonio trashing my stuff. That was brought up. Oh yeah, I got to share this with you. That video of Antonio trashing my stuff? Search on YouTube. Antonio Cook trashes my stuff. Okay? Or just scroll down if you're watching this on Facebook, and you'll see the post that I made this morning. Or last night, whatever it was. Antonio Cook's trashing my stuff. And the judge said that he'd heard about this. And Charlie Balvin, I'm pretty sure it was Balvin who said this. Maybe it was Hariri, said that Antonio Cook told him that it was a keyboard, an electronic keyboard, that he picked it up to look at it, and there were cockroaches all over it, so he dropped it. My sweet I got to do this with an open face. My sweet Aunt Petunia's left nipple cockroaches. Really. You just watch that video. That's not the way you drop something when there's cockroaches on it. That's the way you smash something when you're trying to break it. Okay? So, yeah. And when I brought that video to court to show it to the judge as a violation of a court order and contempt of court, we settled on status quo because Ron Hariri said that he would be the go-between between me and Antonio Cook, and that turned out to not be the case. And you know what? I actually didn't have to say all this because I wrote this down in an affidavit. And this affidavit was filed a few days ago in answer to the motion to dismiss this case. And the judge said he read it. He must have read it because he used the word shenanigans. No. He didn't say shenanigans. He said unscrupulous to describe what Antonio Cook is accused of and the behavior that he's done. So I pointed this all out, either in the affidavit or in my personal statement, which seems to be the pattern here, is that lawyer. Anybody else got anything else to say? And then I just cut loose. I said, look, either adjourn the case status quo until the HP case, or give me the keys. Give me the keys so I can access the room myself. The supervised removal of my property is a non-starter. And I'm owning this. Yes, this case is a backdoor defense of my possessions and my rights. Okay? So, if we just do this, just adjourn it to coincide with the HP case, it'd be a lot simpler. All right, so that's what I said. And the judge said he'll have a decision by Tuesday, and the court date is on the 3rd. The trial date is the 3rd. So there it is. We won't actually know until the decision date, which is Tuesday, whether or not we're going to trial, or it's going to be adjourned, or if he's going to dismiss it. But you can bet, if he dismisses it, I'm going to be filing something else. I totally am. I've got the security camera in there. So, in fact, I'm going to watch it right after I finish this up. Just to make sure Antonio Cook wasn't waiting at the door, because there was a time that some folks were waiting at the door while I was in court. They didn't do any harm, but they did go into my room. So, anyway, thank you all for listening. John, Mark, Stephen, Daniel. Only a light turnout today, I understand. But now it's on record. It's on Facebook. It'll be on YouTube. And I love you all. Clean up, cover up, call your loved ones, because not everyone out here is getting out of here alive. And there ain't no reason that anybody should be happy when anybody dies. All right? Thank you very much. This is Captain Zorik coming at you.